We live in the age of the lens. Every street corner, every storefront, and increasingly the sacred privacy of our own homes is constantly being recorded. We install these devices for peace of mind. We want to catch the package thief or perhaps ensure our car is safe in the driveway. We trade our privacy for a sense of control. But sometimes, these silent observers capture things we were never meant to see. They peel back the curtain of reality just enough to show us that the world isn't as empty or as safe as we tell ourselves during the daylight hours. From the desolate isolation of a midnight shift to the claustrophobic terror of a stranger living within your own walls. Tonight, we are looking at 3 instances where security cameras captured the unexplainable. Sit back, turn off the lights, and ask yourself, did you remember to check the locks? The static observer. There is a specific kind of loneliness that only exists at a gas station at 3 a.m. It is a liminal space, a transient point between destinations where time seems to stand still. In 2019, a Reddit user who we will call Mike was working the graveyard shift at a remote service station off a minor highway in Nevada. It was a job defined by boredom. Most nights, the only customers were long-haul truckers fueled by caffeine and exhaustion. But on a Tuesday in November, the surveillance system picked up something that made Mike quit his job the very next day. It started at 2:14 a.m. The exterior CCTV, positioned above the main entrance, shows a sedan pulling up to pump 4. The car is an older model, nondescript, dirty beige. The engine cuts, but the driver doesn't get out. Mike, watching from behind the bulletproof glass of the kiosk, didn't think much of it initially. People often pull over to sleep or check their phones, but 10 minutes passed, then 20. At 2:40 a.m., the driver's side door finally opens. A figure steps out. He is tall, wearing a heavy trench coat despite the dry, desert heat. He doesn't reach for the pump nozzle. He doesn't walk toward the store to buy a drink. He simply walks to the edge of the light cast by the overhead canopy and stops. He stands perfectly still. On the grainy CCTV footage, the man looks like a statue. He is facing the desert darkness, his back to the station. For 45 minutes, the timestamp on the video ticks away, but the man does not shift his weight. He does not check a watch. He does not move a muscle. It is a stillness that feels biological impossible. Mike describes feeling a rising sense of nausea watching the monitor. The human brain is wired to detect patterns, and this pattern was wrong. This wasn't a man stretching his legs. This was a predator waiting. At 3:30 a.m., the footage glitches. A surge of static washes over the screen. A common occurrence with old wiring, Mike thought, but when the image stabilizes 3 seconds later, the man has moved. He is no longer at the edge of the light. He is now standing directly in front of the station's glass doors. He is staring up directly into the CCTV camera lens. His face is washed out by the infrared night vision, rendering his eyes as hollow, black pits. His mouth is slightly open, hanging slack in a way that suggests zero intelligence, or perhaps too much. He doesn't try to enter. He just stares into the lens, knowing Mike is on the other side of the monitor. The footage ends abruptly when the man, moving with jarring, fluid speed, returns to his car and drives off into the dark without turning on his headlights. Police found no record of the license plate. It didn't exist. Mike never went back for another shift. He realized that while he was watching the screen, the thing on the screen was watching him back. The guest in the attic. The sanctity of the home is our final defense against the world. When we lock the front door, we assume we are alone, but there is a phenomenon known as phrogging. It comes from the idea of a frog hopping from pad to pad. In human terms, it refers to strangers who secretly live inside your home, in your crawl spaces, basements, or attics, without you ever knowing. Our second story comes from a submitted police report in Ohio. A young couple, Sarah and David, had moved into a sprawling, 2-story Victorian home. It was a fixer-upper full of creaky floorboards and drafty hallways. For the first 2 months, things were normal. Then, small things began to change. Food would vanish from the refrigerator, leftovers from dinner, a carton of milk. David blamed Sarah. Sarah blamed David. They laughed it off. Then, objects began to migrate. A remote control left on the sofa would appear on the kitchen counter. A bathroom door left open would be found shut. The turning point came when Sarah woke up one morning to find a handprint on the dusty mirror of the guest bedroom. A handprint that was too large to be hers and too slender to be David's. Terrified and questioning their sanity, they installed a motion-activated nanny cam in the upstairs hallway, pointing directly at the bedroom doors and the ceiling hatch that led to the attic. They reviewed the footage the next morning. What they saw destroyed their sense of safety forever. The video, time-stamped at 3:12 a.m., shows the hallway in grainy black and white. Silence. Then, the square outline of the attic hatch slowly lifts. There is no sound, just the careful, practiced movement of the wood sliding aside. A pair of legs descends, then a torso. A woman drops silently onto the carpeted floor. She is emaciated, wearing dirty, oversized clothing that looks like rags. Her hair is matted. She doesn't stumble, she lands with the grace of a feral animal. She stands in the hallway for a moment, listening. Then, she creeps toward the master bedroom where Sarah and David are sleeping. The camera captures her entering their room. She is gone for 14 minutes. When she emerges, she isn't stealing jewelry or electronics. She is holding a glass of water from their nightstand. She stops in the center of the hallway, looks directly at the camera, seemingly unaware of what it is, and smiles. It's a wide, jagged smile that doesn't reach her eyes. She drinks the water, wipes her mouth with the back of her hand, and climbs back up into the attic, sealing the hatch behind her. They had been living with her for weeks. While they ate, she was above them. While they watched TV, she was listening through the floorboards. And while they slept, she was standing over their bed watching them breathe. The mimic in the woods. For our final clip, we leave civilization behind entirely. Trail cameras are designed to capture nature in its unguarded moments. Deer, coyotes, bears. But deep in the Appalachian wilderness, the woods hide things that refuse to be categorized. A hunter who wishes to remain anonymous set up a series of high-end trail cams on a private property line bordering a dense national forest. The area is miles from the nearest paved road. It is thick, ancient woodland. The camera in question was set to burst mode, taking 3 photos in rapid succession whenever motion was detected. The first sequence of images, time-stamped at 11:45 p.m. on a moonless night, shows a doe stepping into the clearing. She looks alert, her ears swiveled back. In the second photo, she is blurry, bolting out of the frame in sheer panic. The third photo is empty, but it's the next trigger 10 minutes later that defies explanation. The motion sensor trips. The first photo shows the edge of the clearing. Standing near a birch tree is a figure. At first glance, it looks like a naked human crouching on all fours. The skin is pale, almost translucent against the dark foliage. The second photo, taken 1 second later, shows the figure standing up, but the anatomy is wrong. The arms are far too long, dangling past the knees. The spine is curved in a way that would snap a human backbone. It stands on 2 legs, but it looks like a marionette being held up by invisible strings. It is facing away from the camera. The third photo is the stuff of nightmares. The creature has turned. It is now 10 feet closer to the lens, but it doesn't have a face in the traditional sense. Where features should be, the skin is smooth and flat, except for a wide vertical slit that resembles a mouth, but runs from the chin up to the forehead. There are no eyes, no nose, just that vertical gash. But the most chilling detail isn't the face, it's the posture. In this final frame, the creature is mimicking the stance of the hunter who set the camera. It is holding a broken branch in its elongated hands, holding it up to its shoulder exactly like a man holding a rifle. It was mocking him. The hunter returned to the site the next day to retrieve the SD card. He found the camera smashed on the ground. The plastic casing had been bitten through. The bite radius was larger than a bear's, but the tooth marks looked disturbingly like human molars. He never went back to those woods. Some things are better left undiscovered. Technology gives us the illusion of seeing everything. We believe that if we can record the world, we can understand it. But these cameras prove that the lens is just a window, and sometimes something is looking in from the other side. If you enjoyed tonight's descent into the unknown, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep the lights on. Not that it will help you if someone is already inside. Let me know in the comments, which is scarier, this stranger in the woods or the stranger in your attic. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching the shadows.